When I initially started with 8 hours, it's because I was trying to understand all these new terms that were being thrown at me, such as frame data, character knowledge, etc. And I was just like trying to wrap my head around like the mathematics of the game, because having to learn that a move stops being saved at this number of frames, and I'm just like, what on earth do you mean?
Like how we feel right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
We are completely floating right now. Hello, yes people. Welcome to another episode of the Yes Girls, where we, Claire
and Akumu,
say yes to doing, being, or learning something new and documenting our journeys.
Up, triangle, square.
What are you talking about?
Jump, duck, high kick. Damn, too late, I died.
Okay, I can see those little actions that you're doing, which our listeners can't, and I still have no idea what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to survive out here in this big bad world where it's every man for himself, every character for himself.
Okay, I think I see what you're trying to do with this, where you're trying to go, this is this week's challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually my turn to do the challenge, so can you get your hands off of my console?
Bring it!
Because for this episode, I said yes to hobbying like a
gamer. Game on.
Almost every one of you listening will, I'm sure, at some point have played some sort of video game before, be it Pac-Man in a 1990s arcade, Call of Duty on a games console, or even Snake on their old school Nokia phone.
The best.
It's all about competing against someone or something or yourself to win, possibly reach an end game or just collect the most points.
Or even just to survive. There are so many types of games out there, so forget about just fighting games. There are puzzle and strategy games like Tetris and Portal.
Racing games like Gran Turismo or Mario Kart, an old favorite, Mario.
Action-adventure games like Tomb Raider or Zelda.
Role-player games like The Witcher or Final Fantasy.
First or third-person shooter games like Fortnite or Call of Duty, which I have tried and failed at spectacularly.
Did you die?
Of course.
Many times. And even real-life simulation games like The Sims or Flight Simulator.
Each of these have their tricks, their skills, their Easter eggs, of course, and each have a huge following across the world. Games in general can transcend cultural, language, and even geographical barriers in a way that other hobbies simply cannot. And even the barrier to entry for playing games is not huge anymore, with even basic phones or PCs being able to play or carry out pretty sophisticated games with breathtaking graphics. So technology has come super far.
And there's more to gaming than there was back in the 1970s when commercial video games really hit the market, or the 1990s when 3D graphics swept us all off our feet, or what ChatGPT told me was the heyday of games, which is 2015 to 2021.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Since that heyday period dawned, gaming is so much more. There are now easy ways to access online communities direct from your gaming device. And there's now money to be made from gaming, big money, be it from live streaming, influencing, or winning competitions.
And fun fact, the biggest entertainment industry in the world is in Hollywood, music, or TV. It's gaming, pulling in over 200 billion a year.
Dollars,
yes,
right? US dollars.
Yes. Yeah, that's more than film and music combined. So if you're still thinking gaming is just a hobby for teenagers in basements, you press play on the right episode.
So now, what does the future look like? With AI on the rise, virtual and augmented reality becoming accessible, oligopoly being whispered in the corners, and diversity being the key word on everyone's lips, the future is looking bright, high-tech, and inclusive.
Or is it?
We have one heck of an expert to look into this with us and guide me in my own journey. So let's get to it. This season, it's all about what we can integrate in our day-to-day lives to improve our well-being or our happiness, and we hear from experts who know all there is to know about the topic and get us on our way to success. Some of these challenges revolve around trends in a generation or in a cultural group.
And our expert for this episode is a force to be reckoned with. She goes by many names and a pretty epic bio. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia Gathoni Wahome, better known as QueenArrow, is a Kenyan esports player and content creator. She began her competitive career in 2017 and specializes in fighting games, primarily in the Tekken series. I feel like I want to say Tekken series. In 2018, she became the first Kenyan and first woman in East Africa to be signed by a professional esports team when she joined American organization Exit Wounds, now known as Exit Gaming. Not only is she top of her game in esports, but she also has a degree in law, and she's currently at the Kenya School of Law in the final steps to becoming an advocate in the High Court of Kenya. Oh, and in late 2022, she became a Red Bull-sponsored athlete, the first Kenyan athlete of any discipline to do so. Wait, I'm not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
In June 2022, she was named in the Forbes Africa 30 under 30 list. Yeah, you can check her Wikipedia page out. How's that for an intro? Sylvia, what have we missed in this long bio?
Well, I think you got everything down to a T. That's pretty much how I'd summarize myself.
Is there anything else they should know about you?
Oh, please don't ask if I'm single, because no, I'm not answering this relationships about my...
Don't worry, we've done 2 episodes on sex and 3 episodes now on sex and relationships. This we need to change gears. So we're on games, video games, esports fully.
Yeah,
No,
not,
sorry,
not relationship games.
Yeah, sorry, it's because a lot of people after seeing all that, they're just like slide into their DMs, and I'm like, please leave me alone.
Do not slide to our DMs.
No.
You can slide to our DMs, yes, girls, and then we will deal with it. We'll give you the permission to say whatever you want to say.
So now, Sylvia, can you give us a high-level overview of the challenge you set me, and I guess what you thought, like the thinking behind it, what it might get me to, given that I am a complete novice, less than a novice even.
So what was my thought process behind giving you the challenge is that everyone seems to assume that playing fighting games is just mashing buttons, like there's no real thought or strategy behind it. So I was like, so the challenge was get yourself a copy of Tekken from whichever platform, be it PC, Xbox, PlayStation. Download it. Then you have to try one of the combo challenges in practice mode. So I told her she has to pick Ling Xiaoyu, and I was actually like impressed that you're willing to go out of your way to do all that, even if you kind of failed at the whole getting a copy of it. So you two came by mine, and you now tried the combo challenges on my console. So it was like interesting, like now putting myself in, like I'm now a coach and I have to now like guide you through the steps of how to go about it and how to like have that hand-eye coordination.
And what's a combo challenge for the newbies out there?
So basically I'd say a combo is like putting together a series of moves to deal your opponent damage in game. So basically it's just like you have to do this move, this string, and put them all together so that you can now like damage your opponent and lower the health bar.
To go towards winning the game, right?
Yeah.
To win a round, so that you can ideally win the game. And you're playing against real people, but you told me to do it in
practice mode. So there isn't like the stress of you have to play an actual match, because that's a whole different,
And that was still anxiety-inducing.
Yes.
Anyway, full disclosure, I know because I totally pulled an illegal tag in Claire's escapades. I appeared. I broke the rules and went in to find out what was happening. Because we're taking turns this season, but I appeared.
You didn't want to leave me to have my turn. You just had to muscle in.
And I didn't want to sit back like a background character. And spoiler alert, I was the clueless background character cheering her on. So I've already seen her throw a few wild combos. I like using jargon already. I feel so smart.
She thinks she's an expert now.
Now I can use combo and know what it means, So I saw her using wild combos. But let's get the full match recap straight from the player herself. Claire, how did this challenge go? Are you set to win thousands of dollars in future esports competitions?
Let me know. I think we already know the answer to that. Now, it bears repeating that my gaming career ended in the Nintendo 64 era. That was a long time ago.
Are you calling it career? Really? Career. Makes it sound so big.
Yes, a career when I was 9 years old. That was a long time ago. I mean, we're talking early 2000s at best. So I went from Snake on my first Nokia phone, and I was great at that, or I thought so, to Sega games. Lemmings, anyone?
I played
Remember
Sega.
Lemmings?
I played Sega.
And then to the Nintendo 64 with my friends and my older brother and his friends, who are 6 years older than me. So, of course, I got thrashed every time. Now, since the evolution of games and the rise of PlayStation, real-life games, and amazing graphics, I honestly have barely even touched a console. not through fear or even choice per se, but just that's how it goes. Like, you can't do everything in life, right? I've done a lot of awesome things with my life, I think, but there's so many things that I've just never done, and that's where the Yes Girls comes in to allow me to bring us new experiences we wouldn't otherwise have. But I feel like now it's so much more appealing and community driven to be a gamer, if I can call it being a gamer, because you can literally find friends and interact like on the console with people around the world who share that common interest, which back in Nintendo 64 days you did not have, right? If you're sitting in your living room playing a game, you are completely alone. You're not able to connect to anyone else. So now I feel that is a big change in the past maybe 10, 15 years. What would you think, Sylvia, about that?
I wouldn't necessarily disagree with those stats, honestly, if they're accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I do think that is something that a lot of people are not aware of. I was not fully aware of it until we literally were in your living room seeing
a few days ago.
There's people there on the other side of the screen. It's crazy. So the challenge that Sylvia set was to get a copy of Tekken 8, pick the character Ling Xiaoyu in practice mode, and try out a simple combo in the combo challenge section. This was already a sentence I had to sit and dissect and understand for a few days. And I did succeed in understanding it. I did ask for some help, but I did not succeed in executing it, as you rightly said, Sylvia. Not through lack of trying. So my laptop refused to download and open the demo version. So I had to download Steam, which is an app on your laptop that allows you to download and play games. But then the game would not open. So I tried the demo version without paying first, which I'm glad I did, because if I'd have paid $30 for the full version and still not been able to open it, I would have felt a little bit annoyed. But from that experience, I figured out, okay, so Steam is what you can download on any laptop to play games. I figured out that Tekken is a combat game. Like, I watched the trailer, I looked at it, and it's already on V8 if it's Tekken 8, right? It's been around for a while. The full game, legit version on PC costs about $30. So again, the barrier for entry, in the developed world or middle class world, not too high for something that you could play for hours, if not years on end.
And this is a lifetime license?
Yeah, it's a lifetime license. Though there's also a whole layer of consumer protection behind that, but I won't get into the nuances of that in this episode.
But if someone
$30 you play for.
Yeah, it's yours to own unless you break terms of service, of which you're banned from.
Yeah, there's no annual subscription or monthly fees. There might be in-game purchases on some things.
Yeah.
That's actually something I discussed with some people last week, that it's not, you need high volumes of people to download a game to make money from it, right? Because you only buy it once. But then there's different versions, there's add-ons, etc. So yeah, $30... It's probably how much I spend like in a week on toys or shoes that my son does not need in any way, but I get that endorphin hit from it. So I'd say, for me personally, it's a modest investment. And if you're into games and you plan to master it, which according to ChatGPT takes thousands of hours of practice. I asked ChatGPT,
less than 10,000
it said
or more?
just thousands. I asked ChatGPT, what does it take to be a professional gamer? And it said, you might need this equipment, and then just a single line, thousands of hours of practice. Just a casual,
you should have asked the exact
small
exact numbers.
Exactly how many.
Tekken is one of those legacy games. Like, even if you ask like the top players from South Korea, Japan, and Pakistan right now, they'd tell you, like, I don't think they've gotten to that full-on mastery level, because there's always something new to learn.
Wow.
It's like motherhood, you never win at it. It's
Yeah.
the same thing, right?
Yeah, because sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and then you have to go to practice mode to understand what got you knocked out of the tournament. You have to go practice. You might have to go get some help, like for coaches, both like in game. You might have to go to a therapist. So there's so much
Therapist.
Yeah, there's so many layers, because the esports is I'd personally consider it a sport, because I'm a pro. I have coaches. I go for therapy, so there's so many layers to it at this point.
Interesting. Wow.
I totally agree, but I'm the first to admit that I would not have defended that position from a point of knowledge before speaking with you. full transparency, right? I didn't know that these games were so complicated. I didn't know the level of skill it takes, and that you are constantly learning and you're playing against someone. So doing like a post-match analysis, right? Like you said, figuring out, okay, how did my opponent do this to me? It's a real person. You're not fighting a computer.
Yeah, like,
even that I didn't know.
Because we are from the 90s, we used to play with the TV or the computer, right? So you remember
or
when
the
we got
person
to
sitting
Sylvia's,
next to you.
Yeah, so we got to Sylvia's, well, yes, wait, this is a real person in another part of the world? Like, we were very shocked, right? Yeah.
And also the old games, the last time I played a game, it was basically left, right, up, down, and like 2 or 3, kick, punch, this. That's it. There were no fancy combos, or not that I knew of. Maybe there were, I just didn't know. But when you have so many combos, and even ones that, as you said, you can still discover, each character has their own unique set of combos and moves that can damage an opponent. It's like tic-tac-toe, or is it rock, paper, scissors? You never know what your opponent's going to do.
And then there are new characters all the time, right? So, yeah, you can never be, okay, now I'm good.
So yeah, I that blew my mind, opened my mind wide open, and also seeing the level of commitment, sport, skill, practice, dedication, and it is a sport. Like I just did a few, tried to do a few of those simple combos, and anyway, I'll get into them more. But when we got to your house for the challenge, I had just run a marathon and thought, we'd have a little fiddle on a console and it would be easy. No, like it's I would say probably harder, more skillful than just running a marathon. Like you can run a marathon badly, right? You can play video games badly as well, but to do it well, you need strategy, speed, skill, again, thousands of hours of practice. And I'm not ashamed to say I actually did get kind of out of breath and like anxious, like I was on the edge of my chair trying to do those combos, right? I don't know if you guys saw, like I wasn't just leaning back, because
I took a video.
It took concentration, So, and this was just in practice mode, as you said, right, where you're fighting someone who's not fighting back. It's just you're playing against the computer. But if you're actually playing against someone who is also trying to win. And again, different character, different moves, like rock, paper, scissors, you don't know what they're going to do. It's intense, very intense. I can see that now. So we tried a few combos. It took many tries for me to even be able to actually achieve the combo. I realized the timing. Akumu compared it to playing piano, like the timing and the coordination of your fingers, and compared it to DJing. Yeah. So like there were 4 buttons to press, but press them at the right speed to get the right outcome. It took me about 10 minutes to do it consistently. Like I'd try it 10 times, 2 times out of 10 I'd get it. It took me about 10 minutes to get to the point where I could do it every try. Sylvia, you also explained to us how like you have a coach, and to be at the top of your game, would you say you need to have a coach?
I've seen a lot of the top players that I look up to personally. They have a coach, or at the very least, there's something that we say in the fighting game community. A player is only as good as the community that they come from. So basically, I'd turn to a few members of the community here that I could actually trust, and who were more than happy to teach me, and they didn't necessarily look down on me, and ask them okay, I need help understanding this, because I'd go to YouTube, yes, and I'd understand something, but now if I wanted to get to a point that I actually understood the meat and potatoes of the game, then I had to go to them and just ask, okay, I don't really know how to beat his character, and I've tried everything that I can, so could you help me understand what makes this character tick, what I need to do, what strengths of my character do I need to utilize to get the best outcome? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they took me through that. And now for the tournaments I've gone to overseas, when I went to Las Vegas to compete at EVO, which is basically the Olympics of fighting games, I had to look for someone who was part of the American FGC fighting game community. Who knew the people I was going to be fighting in my pools. That's basically the brackets. So, and then he said he's also going to be in Vegas, so he's going to be over there at least taking me through my matches and everything. So that like really helped my mental a lot, because at least if there was something I missed, like you'd point out like in between sets, like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Mm-hmm. And have you done any coaching? Or is it something you might do later on?
I have done a bit of coaching, but it's not something that's, because I still don't consider myself at the level that I'd like to actually like teach people, but it's more than something I'd consider doing maybe down the line, like once I feel like I'm really like at world class Tekken player. But for now, it's occasionally.
You don't consider yourself world class?
If the moment I actually beat my favorite Tekken player from Pakistan, then yes, I actually consider myself world class. But for now, I still think like I'm regionally good, but not world class good.
You want to go beyond the region?
Yeah,
you're certainly modest. But I love that you're still want to go for more. Still keep learning. So I would say, in conclusion of my experience, like I will never be professional. I do not have what it takes. I can just tell you that, for one. You do, and I admire the hell out of it. I would not have that. I am not diligent and detailed enough, I think. But maybe I'd give it a go just for fun, which I haven't really done in many years. I'm moving to your neighborhood, so maybe I'll come knocking to come and play. I'll bring the cakes and crisps. Akumu, what do you think? Anything I'm missing? As you were there hovering and lurking like a creep and trying to outdo me.
Actually, you told me to try. And
I told you to try and I was scared you'd be better, and then I thought you were,
when you gave
but
me
then
the
you
console,
weren't.
I was like, what is so hard about it? And then I start. What was the thing you were saying?
It was like arrow.
Please tell us
arrow.
the wording you were saying. Arrow. What?
Right.
Down forward, then down forward X, then triangle X, triangle X.
Yeah, this is the stuff I was saying. Triangle X, triangle what? And I'm trying.
You thought when you're watching someone, they make it look simple, and of course you make it look easy when you're doing it.
Yes.
You make it look so effortless because you've practiced so much and you know it so well.
I was like, please, Claire, this can't be that hard. What? I couldn't do that punch that you were trying to get.
I think you got a beginner's luck.
Beginner's
luck.
Because the only thing I was doing, I was not overthinking. I just kept repeating things, but I still couldn't figure out when it happens. So I just kept pressing continuously.
Exactly. It was dumb luck.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not cut out for it as well. I feel like it's a lot happening, and I felt like you have to look at the screen. It's like playing the piano.
Linking what your fingers are doing to what's going on in the screen. I feel like you need so much practice just to connect those two and not just focus on one or the other. Right? Yeah,
and for the hand movement to become natural, I think that's if I can make that natural, then maybe I'll try it again. Yeah, but I've played FIFA before, so maybe I'll try the easier ones. I feel like fighting is just too complicated for me. So I couldn't agree more that it's way harder than we thought, even coming into this challenge, and I'm glad we've opened our minds to it. So let's take a quick break and dig a bit more into this topic with QueenArrow. Sylvia, before we ask more about your career, it's rating time. How do you think Claire did between 0 and 10? I'm specifically saying 0.
Thank you. Yeah. Up to 10.
Sorry. Between 1 and 10, how do you think Claire did? Did she nail the combos or did she flounder in 3D?
I honestly think that Claire did well, so I'd give her a 7.
Whoa.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. What do
That's
you think?
probably how many times I actually managed to do the combo correctly in the whole session.
In the end, you figured it out, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because
right?
I stuck to dumb luck, and you actually figured it out, so you could repeatedly do the combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
because just
7.
with that one move, I think that one combo, I was able to see what you were telling me, like wait for him, like don't wait for him to hit the ground, press the next button before that happens, and then figuring out how the hand movement connects to what's going on in the screen. Just doing it for one combo took me long enough, so I can't imagine doing that for a real live game and hundreds of combos
and punches are coming your way.
Yeah, someone trying to also kill you at the same time. Yeah, what would you say I could have done better or differently?
Honestly, you did everything that I expected you to do, because you are coming as someone who's not really familiar with the space. So I wouldn't say that you messed up or anything, because you did your research, you took the time, I just expected you to do one, but you did 2 combo challenges. So that's why my I've given you high pass marks.
Yeah. Thank you. At school, that would be like an A, B plus, A minus?
Yeah, in most universities, that's like an A minus. Yeah.
If everyone is crappy, you are an A.
I got the same score for an hour as I did for like 4 years of a degree. No, my degree, I did a bit better than that, thankfully, after 4 years of work. Okay, so now we would love to hear a bit more from you. So is it true that you started your gaming journey at the age of 3? And at what point did it go from a hobby to a professional choice? Because we've called this episode Hobby Like a Gamer, because I don't think anyone listening is going to aim to become professional necessarily. Or maybe they will, but they won't, not everyone can make it. But yeah, from what point did you go from a hobby to a professional pursuit?
So for me at the age of 3, that was just me following my brother and my cousin, doing whatever it is that they were doing, and just thinking that video games are the coolest medium, and having crushes on Lara Croft and powerful women in games who could hold their own, or if not outdo their male counterparts. But for me, at the age of 18, participating in my first tournament kind of did it for me, because the rush of competing, the rush of learning, that's what made me understand that this could be a career, because I just thought that was something that was available to the people in the United States, in Europe, in Asia, because that's where a lot of the gaming is done.
Yeah. And that tournament, then, how did, at what stage did it go from, you playing with your family and friends to competing even? Because just going from playing in your house with friends to playing in a tournament is already a big step.
There was a tournament that was happening at the East African Game Convention that was held here at Two Rivers. So I was just I want to try my hand. It's Easter. I don't have anything to do other than just in my hostel. So I asked a cousin of mine to pay for me the registration fee. Then my mom insisted on my brother having to be there. So we went, and he was there cheering me on. I managed to perform relatively well, came in 4th place, and I was just this is what I want to do for real.
Nice. Okay. So that first step was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, okay. And that first step doesn't sound like it was, I'm going to be professional. It was, this is fun, and it was accessible to you, and then from there you thought this is something you could pursue.
Yeah.
Wow. And how long has it been since you would consider yourself professional?
It's been 8 years now.
8 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I started at 18, I'm now 27, so.
Okay.
Wow, that's very close to 10,000 hours. 10,000 is 8 to 10 years, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have any, would you be able to quantify in any way how many hours you've
You're asking a lawyer who's terrible at math. Is the reason I went to law.
So in a week, how many? And then listeners can do the math.
So one day has 24 hours, so 7 times 24. I can't do the math of my head, but yeah.
But in a day you pay more than 5 hours?
I do too. I used to do 8 hours, but I just realized that's not exactly healthy for my mental and my physical health. So I just said, let me just do 2-3 hours a day. Then from there,
Okay, so you've been racking up hours for sure. Okay, so with that in mind, what does a day look like for you as a pro gamer, and how do you balance everything, because you're also doing law?
And like you said, making sure you're looking after your mental and physical health.
So a normal day for me would basically be I wake up, eat a healthy breakfast, so that's basically Greek yogurt, fruits. Sometimes I just cut out breakfast altogether, but then I make sure at lunch I have eaten something, then go to the gym. Then now I put in a couple of hours to like practice. That's like my 2-3 hours. Watch YouTube, but yeah, just make sure that I have a life outside of my career, because now gaming has now become a career for me. But needs to be it has to be fun first before competing, because if I'm not having fun in the game, then it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, and that's the challenge. Even as an artist, I know when you make something professional, then it stops being fun, and that's how did you switch?
Stop being fun.
So how did you switch from, like you said, 8 hours to 3 hours? Like, did you realize that it stopped being fun, or what?
I think when I initially started with 8 hours, it's because I was trying to understand all these new terms that were being thrown at me, such as frame data, character knowledge, etc. And I was just like trying to wrap my head around like the mathematics of the game, because having to learn that a move stops being saved at this number of frames, and I'm just like, what on earth do you mean with
like how we feel right now?
Yeah, exactly.
We are completely floating right now.
So yeah, there's the mathematics behind the moves that you throw out. So like you have to understand what poking means, you have to understand what launch punisher means, you have to understand and that's why I was putting so many hours in the game. Then I was just getting so frustrated, I nearly quit. Then I was just like, no, I've come too far to quit now, because I'm now signed with a team. My teammates are there doing the best to help me wrap my head around this game, so why should I quit? So I just took it like one step at a time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. And what would you say is the hardest part of being a pro gamer?
I think the hardest part about being a pro gamer is that inadvertently you're competitive. So you're holding yourself to like a really high standard, and sometimes that can really mess up your mental health, because you feel like, oh, I haven't reached the goals that I wanted. Then sometimes, you're dealing with people who can be honestly insufferable. Because, you're getting advice from people who don't know your life, So someone's just telling you some random shit, and they're like, what? Like, dude, that's not what I need to hear right now. I'm not telling you have to be a yes man, but at the same time, choose your words carefully, So that's what I mean, like, dealing with insufferable kind of people. Then, like, on the internet, like, when people are, like, introduced to an aspect of your life, now people all of a sudden feel like they have the right to make some comments. That, again, that's not something that you really need to deal with. So, sometimes I'm just like, I don't have the patience to deal with this. So it's either I block, or then someone comes to your DM saying, some weird stuff. So now this is now the reason I had to start going for therapy, because at some point it was getting to me. Then being a pro, you also deal with, as I said, a lot of disappointment. So again, that's something you have to like improve your mental for. So going to therapy has really like helped. And then also, admittedly, currently I am on hiatus from competing because burnout. So with the current state of Tekken and now dealing with my own demons at the same time, so I'm just like, competing, it's not really that deep. So competing can take a backseat while I work on myself. Then when I feel like I'm ready to come back, then sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I have a dumb question. So you are in law. For me, law just sounds like difficult. So between the two, which one is harder?
I don't think it's really a competition, because honestly, each comes with its own like plate. So I wouldn't say that law is harder than gaming or gaming is harder than law. So each of it comes with its plate, but I've been able to handle it so far.
Awesome.
And do you intend to keep balancing the two as you move forward? Go back to competing or training, and also pursuing a legal career?
I still plan on balancing the two, though for me gaming is something that I'm more passionate about than law, because gaming is my own. It's my decision and no one else's, so yeah.
Yeah, amazing. But they are so different. It's amazing that you're able to keep going with both. And it's interesting what you said about being exposed, like when you are a content creator, when you are to a certain extent a public figure, people look to, people can be incredibly mean and stupid and ignorant. So I'm sorry that you've been on the receiving end of anything. And I think that's an issue when things are so public, right? When you get to the top of your game in anything, and also content creation, right, online. Now, talking about hard things, do you think it's harder to keep advancing like you are and pushing and being successful in the gaming sector as, number one, a woman, and number two, being in or from Africa? What do you think of that?
Absolutely. I think it is 10 times harder being a black woman from a marginalized region, because unfortunately, if you're looking from it from a geopolitical angle, Africa is at the bottom of that geopolitical totem pole, if I can consider it that. And then when you understand the dynamics of race and how your race has contributed to economic marginalization, that makes it 10 times harder, because you're working in an industry that wasn't built with you in mind. And there's a video on my Instagram that I did touching on this, like, to give some context. So there's a content creator named XQC from, I think, France, if I'm not wrong. He'd said something about that. Gaming is about merit. If you're good enough, your race or your gender shouldn't really matter. And I was like, I think in an ideal world, yes, that would be true. But the problem is gaming and esports don't exist in a bubble. You have to understand the history of the world, like the United States of America built on slavery and genocide and the like. Africa dealing with demons of colonialism, and now currently neocolonialism. So white people had the economic advantage. They had social advantage. When you look at Kenya dealing with settler colonialism, when you look at South Africa's apartheid system, if you were black, it meant you are automatically economically disadvantaged. So that's the nuance people tend to forget. And now when you look at game, and bring that into gaming, white people have more disposable income normally to buy high-end PCs. So it means that in some certain genres of video games like MOBAs, and MOBAs and MMOs and stuff like Call of Duty, and that's a first-person shooter. You find that's where they're more dominant. And then the fighting game community, ironically enough, that's where you have the most diversity in gaming, because you have people of different races, different genders coming together, because consoles are more accessible. And even that console in some regions of the world is very hard for people to get the money for. So it's not really fair to say that gaming is built on merit, because some people just need, I need help, admittedly, because otherwise no one would look twice in my direction. So we need to be careful about saying some things without understanding the full historical context. So that's to answer this question that you asked.
Yeah. And to say that it's only based on merit and not to do with color, gender, race, or anything. Often that someone can say that if they come from a position of privilege and they are not a minority. Exactly. And they think it should be like that, but your lived reality might not agree with that at all. Microaggressions and people just disregarding or just being careless or thoughtless, which can really...
It stokes that flame, because I initially just entered this space because I love video games. But then now, because you're starting to progress faster than some of your peers who feel that you don't deserve that position, you get, microaggressions saying that you're just lucky because you're a woman. And I'm just like, dude, what the
So they're saying like it's the inclusivity that brought you here.
And I'm just like, someone in the United States thought I'd be a good fit for their team. And they didn't care that I wasn't really good at the game. They just wanted to be part of my story. And I have put in 10 times the work. Because I was starting with zero knowledge of the game. So why would you say that? And that's not, it's honestly not fair.
Yeah.
Someone and still today someone tells you get back in the kitchen, or people
really
in 2025
and hitting on me because someone come to my message requests hitting on me, and I'm just like, dude, get the fuck out of here. I don't see your face. Like, I just want to play my video games. I just want to do the damn thing, do the great work,
Yeah.
And the unfortunate part is that you have to develop a thick skin. And I'm not saying you have to deal with that, but because it's not fair, you have to deal with that on top of the current, tension of living in Kenya and globally. But you just have to develop a thick skin. I'm like, okay, get back in the kitchen, go to bed.
You're bigger. You know that you're bigger, cleverer, smarter
Because
than them.
I guarantee you that if we were to have a proper one-on-one fight with some of these people, that's smoke them in Tekken.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I just have to develop a thick skin and keep it moving.
And talking of thick skin now, what would you tell anyone who might want to get into gaming, like from the way you did 8 years ago, whether for fun or financial gain? And let me know if the advice is separate for people from different places, different genders.
Honestly, I just say be kind to yourself. This, being a competitor has its pressures, it has its own struggles. So just focus on your own process and be kind to yourself in that. And please don't hesitate to ask for help from whoever. Because you'd find that there are good people if you just know where to look, and make sure that you build, have your community of people, like-minded people want to see you succeed. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And would you say also enjoying it, still having fun? Because I like that you said, even though you're at such a high level, one of your priorities is to still be enjoying it, right?
Yeah, outside of tech, and I have a bunch of games in my library that I still love. I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. I love Ghost of Tsushima. Basically single-player adventure games, especially the historical element and the Assassin's Creed. Because just a fun random fact about me, like I'd consider myself a walking encyclopedia of random facts, because I just love reading, so I tend to pick up stuff that no one else would think about.
I think now the law makes sense, because law is about a lot of information, right?
And being able to retain a lot of information.
It's crazy.
All right. Thank you so much, Sylvia. We, if I can speak for both of us, we definitely feel humbled by your expertise. You've been professional in your career probably longer than I have in mine. And I'm nowhere near as good at my career as you are yours. I've not won any awards for mine. So
not yet.
Not yet. And we certainly feel a little less dumb when it comes to video games and the whole space. So thank you.
Well, thank you as well for having me on the podcast. And genuinely, this is a treat, and it was very refreshing.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Yes Girls. Whether you're new to podcasts or just new to us, there's a world of episodes waiting for you. Scroll through your feed and discover stories, lessons, and moments that might just shift something in you.
We'll be back before you know it, saying yes to a new challenge, maybe even one suggested by you.
But before we go, remember this.
I think what I'll take from this is, even if you go to the world-class level, push to your goals to be good at something, I believe keep why you started still there. So if you started for fun, make sure the fun is still there. Make sure it's not taking over your entire life. Like you made it very clear, and just give yourself grace. I think that's what I've gotten from this. Yeah. And this week, what would it look like if you said yes to that thing tugging at your soul, that small, scary, sacred thing? Say yes to it, try it, reflect on it, even write it down. We are here to witness your story too.
And let's keep the conversation going. DM us what you've said yes to, tag us in your reflections, or share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. I will be sharing this episode with many people.
Very many people.
I've been discussing this topic with quite a few people, and it's stirred up some very interesting debate. So I'm looking forward to sharing this with them. You never know who's just one nudge away from their next big step, or just being more open-minded, tolerant, accepting, or appreciative of what others out there are doing.
Awesome. And you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Threads, X at Yes Girls Podcast. That one tap to share might just be someone else's yes inspiration today.
And if you want to find Sylvia on socials, you can find her
at the QueenArrow 98.
So at the Queen, like the royalty, arrow, like a bow and arrow, 98.
Yeah.
Which platforms?
Mostly Instagram and TikTok.
So You can
Awesome.
follow her journey and successes and get some tips on how to be a better gamer.
And you'll find links in the show notes, all the links in the show notes. Now, pressing play on some thank yous.
We would choose the player at Sompisha Productions, that is Snowball Studios Anytime, who produced this episode and all of this season.
We would fight to the death in any game for Kags, who designed our wonderful logo, and play for hours and days with Pedro Brian for our theme music.
And our guide, mentor, champion, sensei, Sylvia, aka QueenArrow. Thank you. And of course, you, all of you listening, watching, whatever you are, tell us what your favorite video game is or how this episode opened your eyes.
One more thing before you go, Sylvia, you're not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
We asked this to all our guests. What's something you've recently said yes to that is unrelated to gaming?
Wow, okay, that's something I haven't really thought about, but also it's saying yes to giving yourself different, more chances to rebuild yourself and to rediscover yourself.
Awesome. Wow. Awesome.
Always learning.
Always learning, giving yourself grace, giving yourself space to recoup. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So see you in the next episode for more saying yes to doing, being, and learning something like
Fill the blank.
because I am Akumu.
And I'm Claire.
And together we are
The
Yes Girls! Game over!
Yeah, do the consoles still do that?
No.
Okay.
No. I missed those sounds. Seka used to do that.